are listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, my name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This episode of a One Pint Stand is brought to you by Lupulin Brewing, home of Minnesota's favorite hazy IPA, Hooey. Known for world-class IPAs, their craft shines across every style. The award-winning Dortmunder Lager, the coveted Barrel God Imperial Stouts, fruity balanced sours like Fairy's Yes, and the upcoming Squizzle Tripleberry. They're also the creators of Minnesota's favorite THC seltzer, Smazy, proving that whether it's beer or beyond, Lupulin delivers with creativity, consistency, and a whole lot of flavor. On this episode of A One Pint Stand, I join my friend Courtney, host of the Brewery Adventure, another craft beer podcast, to recap our All Pints North experience. We recorded this at Broken Clock Brewing Cooperative a few days after getting back from All Pints North. It was Courtney's first time there, and I thought her perspective as a newbie would be really interesting as we rehash the experience. We talk about All Pints Eve and our visits to 320 Brewing, Bent Paddle Brewing, and Urza Minor Brewing on Friday. Then we go deep dive into the festival on Saturday and then some of the post-festival activities. We ended the weekend with a great visit to Earth Rider Brewing's tap room, the Cedar Lounge in Superior, Wisconsin, before heading back home. So let's head out to Broken Clock for my All Pints North wrap-up with Courtney from the Brewery Adventure. Cheers. Okay, welcome to another on-location episode of A One Pint Stand. We're here at Broken Clock Brewing Cooperative, where I am a member. So I guess I kind of own the place. And I'm not just here by myself. I'm here with my friend Courtney. Courtney, hello.
Hello.
Courtney, you also have a podcast.
I do. It is called the Brewery Adventure.
Yes. And we're on a brewery adventure right now.
We absolutely are.
And we're going to be talking about some brewery adventures and beer festival adventures because 3 days ago we were up in Duluth on the shores of the Gitchagumi, enjoying all of Duluth's wonders and lack of air conditioning that the place had to offer. It was a magical time. Now, for those of you who probably, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, caught my preview episode that came out about a month ago, I missed the first ever All Pints. I didn't know about it. And then last summer, I was in Louisville, Kentucky on another beer trip, and I missed All Pints. So I've missed 2 All Pints. Courtney, this was your first All Pints.
It was my first.
And we're going to talk about the festival in a bit. But I wanted to start off, I like to do a little introduction to people that are on the show. So, Courtney, give me your name, how long you've been doing the podcast, if you remember the first craft beer that really kind of like got you excited about beer, or maybe just the first beer in general. Maybe the first time you had, Milwaukee's Best, you were like, this is the best thing ever.
And wasn't that one?
Would you? Here's a question. Okay, so how long you've been doing the podcast? A noteworthy beer that kind of got you interested in craft beer, and your favorite thing to do when you're not hanging out at a brewery.
Okay, let me see if I can do all these without having you repeat the questions. The podcast name is the Brewery Adventure. We started doing this, my friend Tim and I, in January. So we haven't been around for that long, but we've been trying to hit a bunch of breweries and talk about the whole brewery experience. When you walk in the door, what's the vibe? What does it feel like? It's pretty good. I don't think I drank a whole lot of beer in my youth. It wasn't until I moved in with my BFF, Kyle, who I will affectionately call Squishy Bear. He kind of, I'm not going to say forced me to drink beer, but he encouraged me to drink beer.
Yeah. I mean, It's one of the greatest inventions of all time. Why not try it?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
think probably the first craft beer that I can really remember getting into would be Surly Furious.
That's right. So I've been, I listened to a handful of your podcasts before, but then in the last 2 days, I've been very methodically listening. It's funny, Surly Furious comes up all the time on this podcast as well. When I ask somebody, what was a beer that got you into craft beer? So many people say Surly Furious. It's a very iconic Minnesota beer. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's still kind of a go-to beer today.
Yeah.
It's a good one to drink.
Yeah. What do you do when you're not hanging out at breweries? What are some of your other interests or passions in life?
If I'm not hanging out at a brewery, or maybe like before I go to the brewery, there will be some rock climbing, indoor sport climbing, maybe some mountain biking, some hiking, video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
You're a very outward bound adventure seeker, thrill seeker.
I want to do everything and see everything.
You've talked to me about some of your bike racing, your mountain climbing, rock climbing.
Yeah.
As crazy as I get is like medium salsa. I'll try to. Sometimes that's okay. Safe word. So we're here at Broken Clock, like I mentioned before. So I wanted to record this before all the memories faded away, and I thought it would be fun because it was your first time going to All Pints North, one of the premier craft beer festivals put on by the Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild. It takes place every year the last Saturday in July at Bayfront Park, which is a just breathtaking venue for a beer festival. You are right on Lake Superior, and you can see the water, you can see the boats, and it's a very festive atmosphere. They usually have some wonderful bands. This year they had Viva Knievel, which is a great cover band.
They were so much fun.
Yeah, and they do like so many different genres and so many different songs so well. There were all sorts of really fun displays, but before we get into the nuts and bolts of the festival, All Pints North isn't just a 4-hour thing at a park. It's an entire weekend. So when I think I had told you, did I tell you about
I only
All Pints?
learned about this
Okay.
because of you, and then I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I mentioned it because you did have a really fun time. As we were kind of talking about it, and you very smartly took Friday off because I know some people, I think honestly, the first time I went up, I just went up on Saturday and we just stayed one night, and that was not nearly enough.
There was so much that happened on Friday.
Oh, God, you're telling me. Ooh, yes, lots of delicious pizza, beer stops. Yeah. If you're smart, you made a weekend of it. And I'm sure there's people listening right now that are like, oh, yeah, you definitely have to go for the entire weekend. So we'd kind of planned to rendezvous up at 320 Brewing in Pine City, Minnesota, which that brewery has been in existence for several years. However, roughly, I want to say a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe, give or take, my memory is foggy, it changed hands, and it was bought and purchased by Lee Ankrum, a former Dangerous Man Brewing Company brewer. And I was really excited when I heard that he bought it because I was, when there's something that you really love and it changes hands, and if the person who takes it over doesn't know what they're doing, or they take it in a completely different direction, that can be really hard. I remember there was a brewery. Did you ever go to Northgate? It's in the same location as where Falling Knife is right now.
No.
So Northgate was this just adorable brewery that focused very much on British-inspired beers. And it was like a pub. It had a pub feel, and I would go there all the time. And then, the owners, I think, I don't know if they lost interest or just it became difficult. And the quality of the beer kind of started like ebbing and flowing, and then they sold it to this guy named Todd Fighton, who his claim to fame is, I believe he helped write the BJCP style guidelines, and every time you talk to him, he said that and would make it very over the top. He did that. He also, at one time, I believe, had ownership in no fewer than 3 different breweries.
Oh my gosh.
And this is going to come as a surprise. None of them were good. So it was like, and he bought it, and when that news got out, I heard the entire staff quit, and then he could not secure a loan because the bank was like, you already have other breweries, we're not giving you money. So Northgate ceased to exist. R.I.P. Northgate. Several years down the road, Falling Knife bought that location, and they're doing wonderful. It's a great place to be. But that's an example of like when somebody takes over a brand and it doesn't go so well. Now, the polar opposite experience, I would say, happened at 320. It's going great. The beers are solid. The ambiance is way different.
Yeah.
Lee has definitely put his fingerprint on it. So
I saw a picture afterwards of what it used to look like inside, because we kind of talked about it when we were there, like what the decor looked like and kind of how it has changed. Wow.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed most was it was not as bright. And it kind of had, I don't know, would you call all the skulls of animals hanging out, would that be a Southwestern motif or just a really bad veterinary clinic motif? Like, that's, it definitely had character, different lights, different lighting. I had never noticed when we were there. I asked the woman behind the bar, I'm like, did you put in that wood? And they're like, no, that wood was always there. Well, I never noticed it because the lights were so bright.
Yeah.
Kind of scalding my retinas. I'm a darker is better kind of a person when I'm drinking beer. I like to kind of feel a little cozy, and I thought that some of the changes that I noticed were like, oh yeah, this is different. It doesn't feel like the same place, which I kind of like, and I'm glad that Lee had put his own spin on it. And the one thing I remember about Lee when he was with Dangerous Man is that he brews really good beer. So I wasn't worried about the beers being bad. Now tell me, when you approach a new brewery, kind of what's your plan? Do you go in, do you look at their tap list beforehand and kind of have a couple beers that you want to try and you're going to kind of see which ones they have, or how do you approach a new brewery visit?
If I look at the beer list too soon, then I'm just going to be thinking about all the different choices I have and my head's going to spin and it's a bad idea. So I need to go there and just kind of, I want to get a flight because I want to sample as many things as I can. I don't need to drink a full pint of anything because I, again, want to try everything. So I try to pick something light, something dark, something sour, and then I usually leave the fourth option, because flights normally are a flight of 4. Leave the fourth option up to the beer tender. What do you recommend? What do you really like? What can I not live without from your brewery?
Okay. So you flighted it up.
I flighted it up.
You took flight.
I took flight.
The flight, the adventure took flight. The weekend took flight, literally at 3:20. And do you remember offhand, did you have a favorite of the 4 beers that you tried?
I really loved 3 of the beers, and the 4th one, not quite as much, but I also ordered a beer that had a flavor I knew I wasn't really into. So It's not their fault. It's my fault.
Yeah. And sometimes, let's talk about that, because sometimes, I mean, the world being what it is, you're not always going to love everything. And definitely sometimes it's like, oh, I don't love this style, but I'll get it anyway to see what it's like, see what they do with it. Was that kind of your mindset kind of going in? Because it was a plum sour.
It was a plum sour.
You're not a fan of plums.
I don't like plums. And I ordered it anyway thinking like,
do you mind me asking,
I wonder what it tastes like.
Yeah. What was there like a specific plum incident that like you're like, oh gosh, I had to do this plum eating contest in second grade, and it didn't go well.
200 plums, and it was really bad.
And
I wish I had a plum story, Dan.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because sometimes people do. I can pinpoint certain things, but that's for another podcast. Okay. So didn't love, knowing that you didn't love plums, got that anyway, which is good.
It had a very it tasted like plum.
Yeah.
So good on them.
So mischief managed for 320 Brewing for.
Yeah. If you like plums.
Yeah.
That's your beer.
Yeah. And that's, I think that's like a lot of things. You have to like certain things if you're going to like a certain dish or a beer.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your favorite was?
I had a blood orange blonde that I greatly enjoyed.
I love blood orange in a beer.
Yeah.
I think there's really blood orange sours, blood orange IPAs, blood orange blonde, blood orange cream ales. Blood orange finds its way into a lot of different beer styles, and I think it's one of those beers for summertime.
Yes.
That's really perfect, because the blood orange on its own is very kind of bitter. There's a lot of pithiness happening in there, but like if you get a ripe one, it's kind of like there's a little sweet and then bitter. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic, which I think sometimes a good beer is all about balancing out the sweet with the bitter or the sour or, however the brewer decides to do it.
If there's blood orange on the menu, I'm probably ordering it.
Yeah.
And theirs did not disappoint. It was great.
Yeah. I think that was one of the beers that was a holdover from the previous tap wine.
Oh.
The previous tap list.
It was a keeper.
Yeah, yeah. They had a lot of good breweries, good beers. One of the things that I liked actually was if we did a Venn diagram of the 320 pre-Lee and 320 with Lee.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of stuff in the middle. So I think that's also, Lee is an established brewer. He knows what he's doing. He knows where his strengths are, and I think he definitely showed that with their tap list. I enjoyed, I had the Mexican lager, which was fabulous. Their West Coast IPA, which was good. I didn't love the hazy pale. And what was the name of that porter?
Oh, it was Happy Thoughts.
Happy Thoughts,
Dan.
Happy Thoughts. And so it's interesting because 320 pre-Lee, we'll just say pre-Lee and post-Lee, had a Happy Wife Porter. And that won several awards over the years. And I had this hilarious story of one of the winter beer dabblers I went to back in the day. And I was doing a Facebook Live. And this guy comes up to me. I was talking about the Happy Wife Porter.
Oh.
And it was the owner's dad who had just flown in from France. And he's like, hey, you just said the beer that my son brews. Do you know where that brewery is here? And I'm like, oh, yeah, go down that way. And it was like it had just started snowing, big movies, like snowflakes. And it was just like, it was like a snow globe situation. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's right over there. So we've always had a good laugh about that story. But yeah, so I was like, and he took that style and kind of, so they call it a Baltic Porter, which is kind of like a hybrid between like ale and a lager, because it's like a stout, but it's fermented at like lager temperatures. So it kind of does a different thing. It's typically a little bit higher ABV than they had. I think theirs was 6.6%. Baltic Porters tend to be in the 7.5 to like 8.5 or 9 range, but artistic license can be a real fun thing. It was a good beer. I liked the chocolatey notes from it. And it was nice. 320 Brewing is about it's like halfway up to Duluth.
Yes.
So I felt like it's like a nice way to kind of break up the drive. Do you like long drives?
I do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I like them to a certain point. One time I drove from St. Paul down to St. Louis all in one shot, and that was like 9 hours, and that was a lot. But I like breaking up the drive with the brewery. It was kind of fun to see some other brewery folks coming through.
Yeah.
And I was getting messages. They're like, oh, we must have just missed you, the folks from Gambit. Josh, the head brewer there, was with Brad Ashton, a.k.a. DJ Scally Brad, who drives the Vandalorian. So he has a minivan that's all pimped out with Mandalorian stickers. Brad is a huge
I need to see this.
Star Wars fan, and actually we're kind of going full circle back to Northgate. At one of Northgate's anniversary parties, they were doing tattoos, and Brad got his first tattoo there. I believe it was a tattoo.
Tattoo.
A real tattoo.
Yeah.
Not like the yours are
Not
still
like
on.
The faded
Mine
ones
all
I still have on my arm.
Mine all washed off because I'm a big power washer guy. But he got, I believe, it was the Millennium Falcon tattooed on his arm, and now this is years later. Brad has many tattoos.
Yeah.
And he also spins vinyl at Gambit Brewing down in Lower Town, St. Paul. But I got a text from Josh Secor, their head brewery. He's like, hey, I guess we just missed you. We just got here. And he was like, we got a couple of Duluth virgins in the car. And I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. So it was fun to run into them later and see how they were holding up. But yeah, it's something special about your first time going up to All Pints. So then we hit the road.
Well, wait, before we hit the road, though,
yes.
I had an extra ticket to APN.
Yes, you made that woman's day.
I was really happy.
And her husband's day, too. I think he was itching to go to a beer festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were sitting at the bar, and you had bought a ticket, and then we figured out, like, why don't you just come with me on my press pass since you were already going to be up there. The person who usually goes with me to beer festivals is Charles, and he was not going. So I just got, I'm like, I guess I'm flying solo. I'll have to manage all my social media and stuff. And geez Louise, that's a chore. But yeah, then you're like, well, I have an extra ticket because they didn't know about the beer festival. No. Can you imagine getting up on a Saturday and not realizing that there's this awesome thing that you didn't know you wanted to do, and then you found out about it, you wanted to do it, and you didn't know how you were going to do it, and then some really nice person was like, hey, here, have my ticket. Generosity. Beer brings good people together.
They seemed excited about going. They were asking questions about it, and we just kind of asked them, like, well, if you want to buy one ticket, I'll give you this other ticket, and we'll see you there.
That was so nice of you. That was fabulous. Yeah, I think that was putting out some good positivity in the universe.
It was a good start to the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good start to the weekend. So then head back up, and then we rendezvoused at Bent Paddle.
Yes.
One of the bigger breweries up there in Duluth. And I would say one of the, if you want to get technical, Fitger's is the old school brewery in Duluth. I don't know pre-Prohibition. I'm assuming there were other breweries up there in Duluth. But Fitger's has been kind of the OG of the Duluth craft beer scene. And of course, Bent Paddle opened in 2013. So it's been, it's one of the newer school breweries, and it kind of opened in an area that, aside from Lake Superior Brewing, which was also kind of an OG brewery there really wasn't much else. And now, as you saw, there's so many fun things.
That whole area had like really cute shops and little places to bop into.
Yeah. So I'm curious. What, walking into Bent Paddle, you'd never been there. I think every time you go to a new brewery, there's a bit of awe, there's a bit of excitement. Talk me through your experience.
I'm going to say there was a lot of awe going into Bent Paddle.
Yes, there was.
I've had their beer before. We just purchased it at liquor stores. Their black ale is something that I pick up when I need a black ale.
Yes.
So walking in was just, it was like a quintessential brewery experience. Great big bar, really nice decor hanging out all over the place. You could look out to the outdoor area where they had, it was very, very hot out, so we didn't sit out there.
Yeah.
But there were lots of people who were braving the heat. There was a band playing outside. They were pumping the music from the band inside, so you could still experience it indoors. It was such a comfortable, calm, just really nice beer setting inside.
It's nice, too, because we didn't really explore much of the tap room, but if we were to have gone further down by, like, the fireplace, there's some different style of seating. Yeah. We were sitting in kind of like your basic, like, 4 top tables, but they've got like kind of like circular kind of tables, some couches over there. So they have just like a lot of neat things. Their patio is really comfortable. It's like that by the yard composite furniture that's really like one of their big things is very, being good stewards of the environment. So they have a lot of like different, I think all that stuff is like made out of recycled plastic or something. So the patio is great, but yes, it was very hot. We got the best of both worlds. We could hear the music and not suffer the being in the throes of heat stroke. So
my big question though, I was facing up on the ceiling. They had a canoe hanging from the ceiling, and it had 1 million signatures on it.
Yeah.
What are the signatures for?
I have no idea.
Who got to sign that canoe?
I wonder if it's... That's a good question.
It was distracting me the whole time we were there, Dan. Like, I just kept looking at it.
Is that why you, at one point, took out a telescope and you were doing some trying to understand, like, whose signature is that?
Yeah, and then somebody jumped a really cute little puppy in my lap named Louie. Yeah. Then I had a different focus. Matt
Kennevan brought his, I think he said 11-week-old.
Yes.
And it was what breed of dog, other than cute? That's really all
It was...
like a was it a King Charles?
Yes.
Spaniel? Is that a spaniel?
Yes.
Okay.
Mixed with some kind of mini poodle.
Okay. All right.
Straight up adorable. That dog like got in my lap and fell asleep, and that's all I needed.
I was so cute because I'm like, how can you sleep in that like environment? But he was just zonked out.
He was wiped out.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a added bonus. I always love seeing cute animals of any kind in a tap room. Mostly it's dogs. I've never seen a cat in a tap room. I'm sure that experience will happen sooner than later.
I feel like that would be a little weird. I'm not prepared for that.
Yeah. I mean, one time I was at an ice cream shop and this woman had a cat in a carrier and I was like, what is happening here? What's going on? I would love to see a primate in a tap room.
Oh, yeah.
Many years ago, well, not many, like 3 or 4 years ago. So I live in St. Paul in the Como Park area, and I walk and bike around that lake all the time. And for a while, there was a guy he had a monkey.
Are you serious?
In a diaper, because we don't need to go into that on this podcast. And I was like, oh, monkey man. And just like, and then no more monkey. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to assume. I would assume primates live fairly long because
I thought they did.
Share a lot of DNA with us, but I don't know.
Did he let you like talk to the monkey?
I think you were supposed to keep your distance. I also think that was part of the diaper situation too. I don't know. You never know. Sometimes it's best to tread lightly when you see a different kind of an animal in the wild. But yeah, no, I don't remember ever like. I was always like, all right, there's a monkey. I'm not in a zoo, so this doesn't fit in my brain. I'm very abstract random, but when it comes to certain things in certain places, I'm like, I don't want to see how this kind of confluence of two different things is going to affect society. So, yeah, the dog was cute. The beers. So what was your impression of the beers? Now I know you said you've had their packaged product. I always think it's like you go to a place, you have it from the tap. It's a elevated experience from when you would have like your 14-degree amber ale out of a can. Still delicious. But something about being there.
Yeah. I tried to not order beers that I had in a can. I tried to get stuff that I could seemingly only get in the tap room or stuff that I hadn't tried before. And
that's another nice thing about Bent Paddle is they have all the beers that they put in package for the most part. But then they have like taproom only pilot system brews. So those are some ones that you're not going to find in the liquor store that I would always encourage. If you're looking for something different, I mean, you can always find the beers at the liquor store. So I would encourage you, if you go to Bent Paddle and you see those pilot brew options, try them. One of them wound up being my favorite. But I want to hear what stuck out to you.
Well, here's the problem, Dan. I had my flight of beers, and they were all fantastic. However, you let me try your beer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to say that. Yeah.
The Dark English Mild. And like a buffoon, I ordered it. and it said available on nitro, and I thought that meant, it's going to come on nitro. Well, the first pour I got of it was not nitro, and I wasn't disappointed because sometimes when you have a beer on CO2 and you have a beer on nitro, they're very different experiences.
Yeah.
So having a beer, typically if there's two options, if I know about them, I will still go with the CO2 version first because it's a different kind of like version of the beer. It's a different experience. But then when it went to nitro, that was like next level. So, and you liked it, right?
I loved it.
Okay. So this is something. Closed circuit to all the breweries out there that are like, I don't know, if we put on an English dark mild, nobody's going to drink it. I think that's a very, very appealing style for all palates, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that just because it's lower ABV, it needs to be something that won't sell. I know several breweries right now. Falling Knife has one on tap. Heavy Rotation always has one on tap. And it's a style that I've seen more and more out in the wild, and I think it's a very good thing for somebody who wants something a little bit lighter from an ABV standpoint, but still wants a really nice, satisfactory kind of roasted malt, almost like, I say leathery. And some people are like, why do you know what leather tastes like? Well, I used to be in a biker gang. No, it's kind of like that like savory kind of thing. I've never.
Sometimes we shouldn't ask questions about why people like what they like.
I've never actually bit down on anything leather. We'll edit that out. But it's just such a satisfying thing. Sometimes it comes across as like sometimes there's some dark fruit in there, but it was a really, really, really good beer, and I'm glad I had several pours of it because I was not driving. So when you're not driving, you can throw caution to the wind and live your best life at the Bent Paddle. Now, one of the things I know you like to do when you're at breweries is you like to rate your beers on Untapped.
Yes.
So,
yes, I do.
What was the highest rated beer that you had? Or do you remember what you gave the Shire? Was that a 5-0?
I don't think I didn't actually rate the Shire because it was your beer and I only took a sip and I felt like that didn't count like me actually drinking the beer.
See, if I taste a beer, I'll put it in Untapped. I'm weird. I'm weird that way.
It's going to look like I just drink a ridiculous amount of beer then.
That's okay. Because, well, and I guess this is a kind of a fun question as you're a very avid beer drinker. But like, I use Untapped to kind of track what I'm drinking because I don't like to order the same thing twice unless it's the Shire. Because I didn't check in the Shire at Bent Paddle because I'd had it before.
You still should have
I'd never had it on Nitro, but yeah, I don't do repeat check-ins. I just do one. But like, Untapped should be personal to you. You know, it's your own little beer diary. You can make it however you want. Oh my God, look at that dog. Somebody gave him either a cappuccino or a line of cocaine.
A nap in my lap?
Yeah, I don't think he's anywhere close to a nap. He's looking to hump some legs. He's got that look in his eye. What a vigorous little lad. Oh, that's exciting. See? Come out to Broken Clock Brewing Cooperative on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
They got trivia, they got dogs, they got all sorts of stuff. And a very nice selection of games and puzzles. Okay, so from after, do we need to talk any more about Bent Paddle?
Bent Paddle was lovely. It was like everything and more of what I was expecting from Bent Paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always a must stop. I like to go there on Friday because of its close proximity to Urza Minor. Because I was planning on walking, then you said, hey, I brought my car. So you were nice enough to transport us over there. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Then we went to Urza Minor.
Yes.
And I've been to Urza Minor many times. I had never had their pizza until Friday.
That was your first pizza from there?
Yes.
Oh, Dan. I don't think I realized that at the time.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I was real excited because I needed some food.
Yes.
And I love Urza Minor on I call All Pints Eve, that Friday. you wind up seeing a lot of people
Yes.
from the beer community. As a matter of fact, when we got there, it was pretty packed on the patio. Dawn and Steve Finney, the owners of Little Thistle, were just kind of, they had about a third of a pint of beer left. They're like, we're going to be leaving soon if you want this table. And we're like, yes. So we sat with them, chatted with them for a little bit. I ordered the Perfect Skipper, which is a pale ale. It's actually a beer I wrote about because I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect for the festival. And it was as advertised. Nice, easy drinking pale ale, not heavy. Had, in my mind, what I want out of a pale ale, which is not a ton of malt. I think a lot of pale ales tend to be on the maltier side. The Finn's Finest Pale Ale we had at Hoops on Saturday night after the festival, that was an example of a very malty pale ale. I didn't quite love that, but the Perfect Skipper was a perfect sipper when you're
aptly
when
named.
you're whetting your appetite for pizza. So fun story. Oh, what did you? Now you got a flight.
I got
as
a
you
flight,
are wont to do.
But we went inside.
Yes.
There were so many options to pick from. There was so much to
Yes.
read, and I felt like I was in a panic because we were kind of like next in line, and I didn't know what to do. I froze, Dan. I froze. So
You did have a little like deer in the headlights.
yeah.
There's also the awe of it. You know, there's a bunch of mugs on the
Yes.
wall. You can see the pizza oven. There were a ton of
smell the
people there.
pizza.
Oh yeah. I always thought, you know, is Estee Lauder still alive?
Oh, I don't know.
Because if she is, and she's listening, Estee Lauder, you need to go to Urza Minor in Duluth, Minnesota, and make a perfume scent that just smells like fresh pizza. I mean, if you want to get men and women just falling all over each other when somebody walks by with that
It's the pizza
scent, you're just like,
You can't go wrong.
kind of like that dog over there. You
Yeah.
just, all of a sudden you're foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
The dog isn't foaming at the mouth because that would indicate he's rabid. He's just real excited.
So
the pizza smell.
I was in a panic.
There was
when
a
I
lot
went to
going
order.
on.
I had no idea what to do. I kind
And
of
there was a
like,
line. I don't
Yeah.
love being in a line because then I do feel pressured to just like,
There were tons of people behind me, and I just felt like it's go time, and I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
So I like super briefly looked at the pizza options and was like, this one. And then for the flight, I knew I wanted a flight because I wanted to try more than one beer.
yep.
And so I told the guy, I said, I don't care what you put in the flight. You are not going to mess this up. You can put anything you want in there, but please just pick 4 beers for me.
Yeah. That's kind of fun. I've never done that with a flight. I always like wind up picking something that maybe I'm not excited. I'm going to start adopting your methodology of flight ordering and just say, hey, just surprise me.
It's kind of a fun social experiment. Normally I do I'll pick 3. If it's a flight of 4, I'll pick 3. They can pick the last one. And then it's kind of fun to watch them panic about, oh my gosh, what do I serve this person?
Yeah, then you've totally taken all the power in that situation and they're struggling and you're like,
And they'll ask well, what kind of beer do you like? And I say, well, I like it all. I like anything.
Yeah.
I don't care. What's your favorite? Put it in there.
And that's good because oftentimes you might miss something that's really good if you're like, well, I only like these kinds, or I don't know what that is. Or sometimes they just put a new beer on and maybe it's not on the menu. They're like, well, try this. This just went on there. So that's sound reasoning.
This guy, despite the line behind us, this guy actually stood there and thought about what he was going to put in my flight. You could watch him, he wrote one down, and then he'd kind of look up and he'd kind of think about it a little bit, and he'd write another one down. He'd look up again, he'd think about it, he'd write another one down. It was a thoughtful selection.
I think that's also a reason why people should go to Urza Minor, because I think from everybody who's in their ownership, from their back of house to their beer tenders, everybody's trained well and everybody understands that beer is about a positive patron experience, and they wanted you to have that, even though it was crazy busy. And I think that's
panic
really,
I was feeling about order now. This guy was like, I'm
that's
put
really
this beer
cool.
selection together.
Yeah, I was having the same feeling about the pizza. I knew exactly what beer I wanted, and then I looked at the pizzas. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so the pizza had been built up to be this amazing, best pizza I could possibly ever have. And I was like, I did not want to pick the wrong one.
No.
So I'm like, well, I like meat. And then he's like, oh, this one, the Wiseacre. And then it was funny when they arrived at our table, we wound up getting the same pizza.
We got the exact same pizza.
Yeah, it was very eclectic. I think that's one of the adjectives I would use to describe their pizza toppings. I think a lot of locally sourced, made from scratch ingredients. The Wiseacres had pork loin, and I believe sausage, gorgonzola, pickled onions.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff really came together. I think Wiseacres must be the name of the farm where they get their pork.
Oh, that could be.
Is what I'm guessing. And for me, what's your favorite, like, when you're thinking pizza, what's your non-negotiable, like, characteristic of a pizza that if a pizza doesn't have this thing, then you're not going to like it?
It's more like I'm going to like the pizza as long as it doesn't have mushrooms or olives.
Okay. All right.
Pretty easy, like with beer. Pretty easy
go.
with my pizza.
So my thing has to be, I don't love squares.
Like the slices cut into squares.
I'm a triangle guy. And so the pizzas were cut in triangles, and the crust was so good. It had that wood-fired char.
Yeah.
And it was crunchy, but it was like still had a nice bit of elasticity.
Yes.
So it wasn't dry. And you could fold it.
I was folding all of mine.
Oh my God. It was just like so good. And just in that environment too, where, you're chatting, you're drinking beer. And I think, a pale ale goes great with pizza.
Yeah.
I think the little bit of hoppiness from the beer definitely kind of cut through the fattiness of the meat and the cheese. And then those pickled onions.
They were so good.
Just nice bit of brightness to also kind of complement the hops that were used in the beer. So it was fun. It was a great experience. Lots of people came through because they had the guild meeting, and then people started to file over.
It was very fun watching the people walk by. I think someone actually walked by and then yelled, "Dan!"
It happens from time to time. Well, and basically, I verbally assaulted Matt Holton as he was walking by because I'm like, I think we were just talking about him like maybe 5 minutes earlier.
Yes.
And I'm like, Matt. So he's
and then he appeared.
Good thing he didn't pepper spray me. I just wanted to say hi. So it was fun. That was good. What was the? Because we stayed there for quite a while. It's really hard to judge when I'm up in Duluth for All Pints weekend. It seems like time flies very quickly. Feels like we weren't there for that long, but we were.
We were.
The sun was down by the time we left.
Yeah.
And then it was time to go nighty-night.
Yes.
But you dropped me off at the Dublin pub.
I
did. I went there because I was like, I'll have a Guinness before I head back. And I walked in there, and there was a lot of really younger people. I don't know how many. Yes. Oh, I mean, I tell people I feel old the minute I get up in the morning because my knees are just really bad. So like, as like there's popcorn noises happening. But yeah, I was very young. I felt a little older, wiser maybe.
Yeah.
But they did have a nice pint of Guinness, and it came with Guinness and a little bump was a little bit of some sort of Irish whiskey. So had that, a little chatting, and then time to go to bed. So
that's right.
Then it's back to the Airbnb because it's always important to
prepare for the next day.
A good night's rest. So we're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about our experience at the festival. And Courtney is going to give us some of her first All Pints North reactions. She was very giddy and very excited. So you are listening to a One Pint Stand, and we're recapping All Pints North here at Broken Clock Brewing Cooperative. Cheers. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying a One Pint Stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A One Pint Stand has a goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other interesting beer people. Now, if you're also into those things, you probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow A One Pint Stand on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. I also started a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. I would also appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcast to help make it easier for other craft beer listeners to find us. If you want to be a supporter of the podcast with some of the extra change you find in your couch cushions, I've got a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support, and they are priced at $1, $3, or $5 a month. If you pledge at the $3 or $5 monthly level, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search A One Pint Stand to check it out. We're up to 26 Patreon supporters, and I'm very excited about what that means for the show. Now, if you like reading about craft beer, you can check out written work on aonepintstand.com. I love to write, and that is where you can find my written content covering both the local craft beer happenings as well as my craft beer travels. I truly appreciate you listening and taking time to enjoy our stories. Prost! It's that time of year again. Lupulin Brewing's Oktoberfest is back and better than ever. Join them on Saturday, September 20th from noon to 11 p.m. in Big Lake, Minnesota for a full day of beer-fueled celebration, German style. They'll be tapping fresh beer releases, including their rich, toasty Oktoberfest Marzen, plus some fun infusions and plenty of limited pours to go around. Hungry? Multiple food trucks will be serving up German-themed eats to keep you fueled for the festivities. They'll have live polka from the Elk River German Band, traditional games like axe throwing, and the legendary Stein holding contest. And of course, plenty of beer. So dust off your dirndl or break out the lederhosen. It's going to be a wild and wunderbar day at Lupulin Brewing. Oktoberfest at Lupulin Brewing, Saturday, September 20th. Raise a stein, make some memories, and toast to good times.
How about a beer?
Okay, we're back for the second half of our episode. I am being joined by my friend Courtney, who has
I was going to do that. I was going to offer you. Have you tried this?
Oh, I thought we were doing some sound effects.
We were just talking about.
Which one is this?
Will you tell me, Dan?
Okay.
You take a sip and you tell me. Oh, that was good.
It's like a mimosa. Is it a mimosa?
It's a milkshake IPA.
Whoa.
With orange.
Huh. So that's very interesting.
I wish we were doing video right now so I could capture your face.
That's right. It's like, what? I was like, okay, it just looks like a hazy. It does look thick. I mean,
yeah. That's a pint of happiness.
Yeah, it is a pint of happiness. It's weird, not weird, because Sean, the brewer here, knows his stuff. So we were talking earlier about things that we don't love. I don't love milkshake IPAs. If you would have said, do you want to try my milkshake IPA? I would have been like, I'm good. But here I am, always good to try something new, especially if you don't know what it is, and be pleasantly surprised that, yes, this is a milkshake IPA, and it's good. I've had bad ones that are just like gross, like too thick.
You had a happy face when you drank that.
I did. I smelled it. I smelled juicy. I was like, is this a Little Haze? Because Little Haze doesn't look that, like it has that hazy look, but it's not as thick.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this a double IPA? What is this?
That's deliciousness.
Like, yeah, that's really good. Okay. You can teach an old dog new tricks. There you go. And that is the takeaway of everything. Okay, yeah, we're back. I'm with Courtney. Courtney has a podcast called The Brewery Adventure. Check it out. Follow it. Listen to it. Very, very exciting. So this is kind of like a I guess it's a collaboration podcast.
It's our first collaboration.
Our
Dan.
first of many.
Yeah.
Let's hope. So we're recapping All Pints North. Again, we're recording this on Tuesday, July 29th. I was in a bit of an emotional funk after the fest. I don't love the transition from 3 days of nonstop fun.
Yes.
To back to normal.
This, yeah.
I've always had a tough time with that, and it was kind of so. This feels good talking about it, recording our recap. So now the first half of the show, we talked a lot about the things to do in and around the festival, and now we're going to talk about the festival itself.
Yes,
and then we need to tack on because we on Sunday. On our way out of town, we went to the Cedar Lounge, went over to Superior, Wisconsin, and went to the Cedar Lounge, which is the tap room for Earth Rider Brewing, and that was fun. We'll talk about that.
Oh, I weren't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to save it. I'm saving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we get to the festival.
Yes.
Describe your emotional state.
Giddy. Nothing. I was giddy, Dan. I was just giddy about everything. I was giddy about being there. I was giddy about having a press pass waiting for me. I was giddy about being able to walk around the grounds before all the people came in.
Yeah. Yeah, because once the people come in, I feel like you can't just sit there and gab with people, but that's the nice thing is like getting there early and talking to people is fun.
It was like 2 different festivals that we went to.
Yeah, say more about that.
Before all the people came in, we got
pre
to go...
Bruce Springsteen story and post Bruce.
That's
Springsteen
exactly
story.
what it is. Pre Dan's Bruce Springsteen story.
Yeah.
We got to walk around and just have some nice chats with brewers and brewery owners and the people who were there pouring. It was a very intimate experience.
Yes.
And then the people flooded in.
And
it was chaos,
what
but
we
it
thought
was beautiful.
couldn't get sweatier got sweatier.
Got sweatier.
Hoo-ah. Yeah, that was, I always like going early. People are like, well, what? Aren't you going to be really drunk by the end of it? It's like, I try not to drink a lot because it's about conversing and, it's like really the only time you have, where there's like, it's not constantly pouring for them. So it's fun to go around. And honestly, when we were there, we got there about 1:30. A lot of breweries weren't even like hooked up yet. They're in the process. So you're just going around and getting the lay of the land. I like to look around and see who's where. This year they organized it in a different way. They organized it by region. So that was kind of fun. And I think it gives you a chance to, like, if you don't get up to northern Minnesota very often, go try the northern Minnesota breweries. So
you got to watch me pre all the people coming in. You got to watch me stalk the Boom Island booth. All I wanted was the award-winning pumpkin ale.
I marvel that authorities were not called.
Nobody was over there to pour it, so I just kept staring at it and staring at it.
You were manifesting it into existence. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's a frequent haunt for you because you live in the Southwest Metro.
Yes.
So that's a frequent stop.
And I've had the pumpkin ale before because after they won the award that I believe you presented to them.
Yeah.
That was
at
a
the
thing.
Minnesota Brewers Cup Awards.
They put it back on tap, and I went and had it, and I love it.
Well, you had the bourbon barrel-aged version?
Yes. A few weeks ago, they had their big anniversary block party, and they did a barrel-aged version, which was also amazing.
Yeah. I had it, too. It was, I mean, they weren't pouring. Unfortunately, they weren't pouring the bourbon barrel-aged version, because that would have been good. But it's a good beer. It's pumpkin pie is a good name because it really is. I think it's an amber ale with pumpkin spices in it, so there's no pumpkin in it. Sometimes people get weird about pumpkin. I love pumpkin beers. I love pumpkin spiced beers. I love everything pumpkin. I love pumpkin pie. I love carving pumpkins. I love smashing pumpkins. So the list goes on and on. I was very into Halloween as a child. And so I remember one year, I think I was in 3rd grade, I started making Halloween decorations in July.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. and that was fun. Halloween. So pumpkins, I always like associate pumpkins with being anything pumpkin is fun for me. But one year, I think it was 2016, I purchased 32 different pumpkin beers. Because that was like the pinnacle of pumpkin beer craziness. And then the House of Cards imploded. And then the next year, like people were like, yeah, people are going to buy a lot of pumpkin beers. Every brewery made a pumpkin beer and nobody bought them because they got pumpkined out. And pumpkin beers are now like the butt of a lot of jokes. A lot of people chastise me for liking pumpkin beers, and that's fine because I have thick skin. But having a pumpkin beer is never a bad thing, in my opinion.
I really like theirs because it's more of like a spiced ale than a sweet pumpkin flavor.
Yeah, because pumpkin can go a lot of different ways. It's very vegetal. And so you have to like do something to like balance it out because vegetal is also an off flavor in beer. Like if your beer tastes vegetal and it doesn't have pumpkin in, like that's a problem. So I get why it's a polarizing thing. But okay, so you walked in, you were in awe. I was lucky to witness that. I thought that was very fun. I think excitement is contagious. I love when people are passionate about something. I love when people are just, you could tell in your face. It wasn't just, oh, we're at another beer festival. You were smiling ear to ear.
Yes.
And that positive energy was very infectious. And I really enjoyed seeing that. Because it doesn't get old. I don't get sick of going to festival. I still was like...
and that's the thing. You were as giddy as I was.
Yes, that's true.
Let's be honest here. You were as giddy as I was.
They did have to tase me. I wasn't going to mention it, but sir, you're doing that thing again. Because it's fun. And and no two festivals are ever the same. That's what I've come to notice. And I think, after not being at last year's, I was like... Last year I was getting texts from Bree and from Charles and was like, hey, we wish you were here. You're not here. Yeah. And I'm like, I know. And I was having a great time, but I don't want to miss out. If I could clone myself for certain times, I would do that because I don't like to miss out on a good time. Because I'm a social butterfly. I'm a social being. So,
but that was one of the highlights for me because you going there and you being as excited as I was just to be there, it's a little different for you because so many people who were there. It was kind of like watching you go to this family reunion.
Yeah.
And you got to see everybody you wanted to see and talk to everybody.
Even the weird cousins.
Even the weird cousins.
I'm talking about you, Cable.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it is great. It is a family. It's like your chosen family. I think we talked about this at the festival, but I'm just like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Because you can just walk around and run into people. And the thing is, as you're around beer more and more, you meet more and more people.
Yeah.
Breweries open and breweries close. But even, breweries that have gone by the wayside, I still keep in touch with Jim Stroner, who was a kind of a prominent fixture at Tin Whiskers. That brewery's no longer there, but he's still a part of my life and a friend.
Yeah.
And so, there's something about the craft beer industry that there are a lot of good people, and there's people that you just look forward to. I think before the festival, I was really hot. So that was a prominent theme of the weekend. But I went to Duluth Coffee Company to get an iced mocha, and as I'm standing in line, Cable walked in, and I'm like, "Oh, Cable!" And so bought him a coffee. We sat and chatted for a while, and kind of, it's part of that whole weekend where you're going to different places and bumping into people, and it's just fun. And it's great. So all pints, I mean, there's a lot of different beer festivals that you can go to. There's several different beer festivals put on by the Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild. But I think one of the nice things about the All Pints North Festival in Duluth is that a lot of people come up.
Yeah.
And it's you get to see, a lot of people having fun. And I have to imagine it's not like when when you're at your day job. So I'm a teacher, when we have a staff meeting, nobody loses their shit to go listen to a new initiative. But, at a beer festival, when you're around all your colleagues, it's a fun time to interact and say hi to people that you haven't seen. And I know that the Guild does a great job of having events. They often have Guild socials throughout the year. So people see each other, but I just think it's a different vibe when you're up in Duluth. And so we walked around, got the lay of the land, and then, we had about an hour until the VIP people came in.
It was a blissful hour.
A blissful hour. Yes, that should be. Next time I'm going to have a blissful hour and just in that misting tent. That was so hot.
Oh, the misting tent.
That was so nice.
Yeah.
That was literally a lifesaver. I mean, people would have died without that thing. So that's a great thing. I feel like
we had a secret signal for it's time to go to the misting tent. We just go and then get back to what we're doing.
Oh, it's too warm. I was like, one time you texted me, you're like, "Are you in the misting tent?" Like, I will be in 2 minutes. So it's also very good to have a rendezvous point when you're at these festival things. And then the VIP people come in and then it's like, okay, the festival has started. Now, the nice thing is when that happens, you still have 4 hours. You still have time to go around and do stuff. But I want to know, being a first-timer, once the fest got going, what were some of the things that maybe surprised you, or as you're thinking back on it now, you're like, wow, that was really cool. I'm going to remember this. This is going to help me kind of always look back fondly on the first time I went to All Pints.
There's so many things. I think this was only my second beer festival. The first one was Winter Dabbler.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This was only my first All Pints, my second beer festival ever. I am personally obsessed with the snacklesses.
Yes. Yes, you are.
It's just like, it's not something you see every day. People show up for the beer festival. They make a necklace out of snacks that they're going to be munching on as they're drinking their beer. Lots of people with pretzels, because that seems like an easy, nice, salty option for a hot day. The Winter Beer Dabbler had more like cheese and sausage things because it was cold, and those things aren't going to get gross like they would at APN in the heat.
One year I ruined my favorite shirt at the St. Paul Summer Beer Festival because I had like beef sticks, and they just like, well, that shirt's going to go in the fire pit.
We're done with that one.
Yeah.
But there were some good ones. People had, some like snack-sized bags of chips and Cheez-Its, and there was one guy that had a snack list of pretzels with like an entire bottle of Cheese Whiz in the middle of it. That guy was my hero.
God, I love it.
So I was trying to take some notes on the snack list situation.
Yeah, I think for hot weather like that, probably candy is probably easy.
There were some candies, yeah.
But yeah, like pretzels, you can't do cheese sticks. I'm a big fan of like beef sticks and cheese sticks. I'll give a shout out to Broken Clock at their booth. And I don't know why people don't do this more often, but they had selected some specific snacks to go with the beers that they were pouring.
They paired their snacks with their beers, and it was awesome.
Yeah. That was really cool. I think I got their... I can't remember what beer I had with the Cheetos.
You had Cheetos.
I really wanted Cheetos. That's my desert island snack. If I was stranded on a desert island and I could only pick one snack, it would be Cheetos.
That was a good choice. Normally, I would love Cheetos. For some reason, I don't know why, but on Saturday with all the heat, I kept gravitating toward very sweet things.
Yeah.
So they had chewy Skittles, like gummy fruit snack kind of Skittles.
Yeah.
So I grabbed those, and he said, "Okay, this is the beer that you need to have with it."
Yeah. And I thought that was cool. That was their, I think that was their triple berry sour.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but that was a good pairing. Yeah. So pairing snacks with the beers, I thought that was good. So the snacklesses. We're a big deal. The variety of different things. So I know that there were several breweries that had some fun activities at their stands. What what booth stood out to you?
So Ursa Minor had they had like a boat race where you had to squirt water and kind of make a boat traverse through a little tube thing. That was really fun to watch people, and they were swearing and shouting at each other, and it was a fun time to watch.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining booth. The one that stood out to me aside from that, and I don't even know what the premise was, but it was Fair State's booth. I think they were doing like tricycle races or something.
Yep.
I didn't quite understand.
I tried to get you on a tricycle, Dan.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I don't think so.
That point, I wasn't ready to make my body go faster.
You weren't in bike form at that point.
No, I was not in bike form. I was ready to just not. Yeah, I don't know.
It was probably a good. I think you did a favor to both of us. If we're being honest, I think you did a favor to both of us.
Yeah. I was like, okay, we've been to Bayfront Park. Now we're going to the Duluth ER.
Yes.
Let's get the whole experience of the city. Yeah. One thing that stood out to me, and this was really fun, this was the first time that they had the RAR Eagle Brewery. So RAR, BSG down in Shakopee, is like one of the world's largest malting facilities, malt processing plants. And it's in our backyard, essentially. And they have a pilot brewery. And they brought some outstanding beers. And I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Chip Walton for giving me the heads up about this, because I don't know that I would have remembered to go there. But he made it a point. He's like, hey, check out these beers that they have, and you're going to be impressed. And I was impressed. I thought all four of them were good. My two favorites were their rice lager and their Czech pale lager. I kept going back.
Check out the Czech pale lager.
Check out the Czech pale lager. Any more comments like that, I'll have to stick you in a penitentiary. Hell!
This is where I get kicked out.
Oh, wait. We got to do a sound effect. There it is.
Oh, there we go.
So that was, I kept kind of gravitating back towards that area. But that was really cool. And it's just, I mean, they have access to the best ingredients there.
Yeah.
So they could brew, stands to reason that they would brew some really, really good beers.
And they were so nice. They were so, and I think this is probably true of everybody there. They're excited for you to try their beer. Like they hand you the beer and they're kind of watching you when you go take your sip. Like, is he going to like it? What's going to happen?
That's a lot of pressure. Do you find when you go out and about, when, you know, you're conversing with the beer tender, and, you know, I like to sit at the bar.
Me too.
And I think one of the many things we have in common is we're oftentimes flying solo.
Yeah.
On our brewery quests. And so, like, I always sit at the bar. Sometimes bartender pours you a drink, you take it, and if it's not your favorite, sometimes
what do you do?
I've been told many times, Dan, you need to fix your face right now. And I cannot do that. But it's tricky. It's the same reason I don't love opening presents in front of people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can't fake enthusiasm. It's very difficult for me. I'll just be like, oh, well, this is interesting. Fortunately, I didn't have to fake anything at the Eagle RAR brewing stand, because all the beers were fantastic.
Well, and really next time, what I've learned is next time I need to be taking video of you as you sample some of these beers that you have never had, because when there's something that happens, like you can't hide your face. You can't fix your face, right? When you take a sip of some of these beers that just like they hit you where you're supposed to be hit.
Right.
Like there's something that happens to your face that I can just tell, like, Dan really loves that beer.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, again, you have something really great. And whether it's a style you've had before or not, sometimes it's just a really good version of that style. And kind of like the hairs on your neck stand up and you're really excited. And it's just, beer is very exciting, you know, and when you try a good one for the first time, it's just, that light comes on, you get hit where you're supposed to be hit. I like that phrase. If I ever do a One Pint Stand t-shirt,
that's what it's going to be.
Drink beer. It'll hit you where you want to be hit. Have like Mike Tyson Punch Out or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, there were some really good. So speaking of beers, what were the beers or beverages that stood out to you at the festival?
Okay, this is where things are going to go a little sideways here. The two beers that stood out the most for me were very sweet. And if you had given me a list of all the beers that you could possibly have at APN, I don't know that I would have picked these out as even I'm going to try that beer because it sounds like it's going to be something really sweet and I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
But it ended up being, and again, it was a super hot day. So I think apparently for me on a super hot day, I need something that is sweet and cold, and that's what's going to hit me where I want to be hit.
That's great. That's wonderful.
So Heavy Rotation had, I think it was called Purple Stuff.
Purple Stuff, yeah.
Purple Stuff. It was a grape flavored. It might have actually just been seltzer, not even beer.
It was a seltzer, yeah.
It was delicious, and it was everything I needed in that moment.
Yes.
I don't even like grape flavor, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
And it made me really happy to drink. And they ran out of it, so I think it made other people very happy as well because it was suddenly gone.
Well, what's crazy about that is that about a month and a half ago at the Pride Dabbler, that was the first beer that they brought that ran out on that night too. And it was also, I mean, it was pretty hot that day, but it's something about, we hung out a lot with Bree Smith, one of my favorite people on the face of the planet.
She's amazing.
When I think of grape apes, I think of Bree because she is the master of all things grape ape. She has a billion opinions on the good ones and the bad ones. And I think that is her drink. So we had some grape ape seltzer from Heavy Rotation at Pride Dabbler, and then we headed over to Bina's for an actual grape ape. And that's usually, if you hang out with Bree, at some point in the night, she's going to look at you. She's going to have that smile. She'll be like, do you want a grape ape? And like, you know the answer. So yeah, the Purple Stuff from Heavy Rotation was really good. What else jumped out at you?
The other one was an actual beer.
Yes.
And when he handed it to us, it was from Barrel Theory.
Yep.
It's called Tahitian Tingle, which is a great name. But he handed it to us, and he said, "It's gonna hit more like a seltzer."
Yeah.
But it wasn't a seltzer.
No.
It was a fruit punch in the face.
Yeah, in the best way possible.
Yes.
It hit you where you needed to be hit. Which is funny because even if you read some of the medical journals from the Civil War, soldiers that got the Tahitian Tingle, that wasn't a positive hit. It was it's not good. That one was really good. I had tried that at their anniversary party in the tap room earlier this summer, and I thought to myself, this is Tahitian treat for adults. It's so good and so refreshing.
If you're someone who's like, I don't drink beer, I don't like beer, you can drink that. It does not taste like beer. It just tastes like fruit punch, and it's amazing.
Tastes like a Tahitian Tingle, which is, I'm sure that's somewhere on Urban Dictionary, and people are like, why are you talking about that? That's gross.
I'm sorry.
It involves a grapefruit and a cat, and it's not good.
I didn't name it. It's not my fault.
Tahitian Tingle was really awesome. I thought that, I don't think there's anything wrong, especially at a beer festival, for trying stuff that might not necessarily be in your
absolutely try
normal
things.
thing. Yeah. So like you were all apologetic. It was like, well, sometimes I like sweet stuff. Like at a festival, try all of it, especially if you're not driving. If you're driving, you can't try all of it. But like there were so many different things there to try. And that's the place to do it because you're already in the door. And at 4 ounces a pop, you don't have to finish it. That's the other thing. That's like one of the.
Oh, it's so hard for me.
I don't know if I ever. Did I tell you? I'm like, well, the nice thing is like you don't have to finish everything.
Yeah.
Like I dumped a fair amount of beer, and if I dump a beer at a festival, it doesn't mean I didn't like it. It's just like, okay, that sip was enough. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
But I'm still going to be walking away from the booth where I got it from and kind of watching them to make sure they're not looking at me and then kind of chucking it.
Yeah, you got to walk away. Don't do it right in front of them.
I felt bad. I only did it a couple times, but I felt like it was a problem. I felt really bad.
Yeah, that'll become more comfortable as you go to other beer festivals. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of different fun exhibits. Some great drinks.
The temporary tattoos.
Yeah. And now I'm jealous. You still have all of yours on.
There's a reason for that, Dan. I've been like, I know I could scrub my arm and they'd probably come off and they would go away. But I feel like right now we both had kind of the APN SADs.
Yes, very much so.
Like the super fun weekend is over. We're back to real life and it's not as fun as the APN weekend.
Yeah.
But I had these tattoos on my arm so I could look down and be like, oh, those were happy times. And I feel like if they go away, all my super fun memories are going to go away with them. And then I'll just have a bare arm and no fun.
Yeah. It's interesting to try to hang on to that. Yeah. Well, the one from Spiral was not, it didn't really adhere, but the Urza Minor one, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, can you tell? It's not really.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it's kind of like almost
There's
all
little
gone.
pieces.
It's like something happened there.
Yeah.
It hit me. Something hit me right where I needed to be hit right there. Yeah. The temporary tattoos are fun. And just kind of going around and then after the festival, everybody kind of walked over to Hoops. They had like a little kind of guild after party, which was nice. More pizza.
I
realized I ate pizza at every meal over the weekend on Friday night and Saturday. No, I pizza's great. But so Hoops is great. I like going there. It's very nice that they hosted the after festival party. They've done that for the last couple of years. And it's nice to just like chill after kind of like sit down. Their air conditioning was working, and so it was very cool. One thing I'll say about Hoops is that if you can go there and spend a lot of time, that's a great thing because they have so many different beer styles, and they're all brewed so well. I mean, Hoops and his staff, they're masters at what they do. They have. And they're all numbered. So it's like they have, 30 beers on tap. That's pretty crazy. And the nice thing is that they will give you half pours, full pours, whatever you want. And then the next day, it's moving a little. Oh God, it's the bottle monster from the basement. Everybody run. There's always one last stop on the Sunday because you can't do everything, It's like Disney World or dim sum. You gotta see what you can fit in. But we'd all been talking up the Cedar Lounge and Earth Rider beer, and so we had to do that. And we went there. It was fantastic. You were completely, again, one of my big joys of the weekend was watching you be enamored with everything.
Yeah.
And you got your 5-beer flight.
Yeah.
I know that you're very particular about your flight vehicles and the trays and the boards and the different things. That was a good one. Places for all the beers and not just a regular tray. I heard you really went off on a big diatribe on that with the Wandering Leaf where they just...
I love Wandering Leaf.
Yeah.
I think they're like... I love going there. I love the people there. I love the owners there. I cannot say enough good things about Wandering Leaf. But please give me a really special Wandering Leaf
flight board
holder. Yeah.
Is it just you need an imprint for the glass so it doesn't shift?
Well, like Wandering Leaf, they have it's kind of like a serving tray that they'll put them on, and that's fine. I personally feel like I'm going to spill it all over because I don't have the skills to carry that kind of tray.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But with Wandering Leaf, for them especially, I feel like there's such an opportunity to make a really cool flight board to put those glasses in.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they had a cool flight board and some cool beers at the Cedar Lounge. One of the other great joys of the Cedar Lounge is they have so many cool pictures of ships, some old school beer paraphernalia, which I didn't know until the bartender was telling us that a lot of that stuff came from Fitkers.
Yeah.
So the person who started, one of the people who started Earth Rider came from Fitkers. And Fitkers has been around for a long time. So it was like stuff from like 70s, like those beer signs and stuff like that. I really enjoy the vibe in there. It's very dark. There's really only that front window. The bar is positioned kind of in the middle. And so it's just a comfortable bar to sit around.
Yeah.
And everybody got a bunch of different beers.
There's live music.
There was live music. It was really good. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Sunday had me feeling my age.
You were a little down when we got there.
I was a little, and I had breakfast and everything. It was like one of those feelings like I could not get enough coffee in me.
Yeah.
So I had coffee at the breakfast place. I went back to Duluth Coffee I thought, a mocha might be the thing. Still very tired. So I just ordered a Royal Bohemian Pilsner. And that seemed to do the trick.
You perked up. It was like you
Oh.
took a sip of beer and all of a sudden, Dan is here again.
I'm back. Here's Johnny. Yeah. Now you had 5 different beers. You kind of went all over the place.
Yep.
There was one that stood above the rest.
Yeah. And again, it was a fruity beer.
And I still am puckered up from that one.
And I don't know that anyone else is going to call it their favorite or even in like their top, but it was a peach sour. I'm not going to say it right. You're going to have to say it.
Je m'appelle Robert Peche.
Yes. It was Peche.
Peche.
Yeah. And I'm not a peach person. More of a peach person than I am a plum person.
Yeah.
If we're going to do a little throwback there.
Sure.
But peach is probably not one of my favorite flavors, but that sour there was enough peach flavor where I could tell it was peach. And there was just a really nice sour pucker at the end.
Yeah. It was very puckery.
Yeah.
On the spectrum of pucker, this baby went to 11. That was, everything puckered up.
It hits you where you want to be hit.
That one got me right in the pucker place. It was very sour. I like sours. They
but
don't
I want
like
that.
me.
Like if you give me a sour, I want it to have a pucker at the end.
Yeah.
If you give me a sour that's like a little bit more mild and just kind of fruity, like it's nice, but it's not a sour.
And I'm kind of more the type of person, I can't remember what it was called at Bent Paddle. It was like a pineapple sour.
Yes.
That was more my speed.
That was
a little
good.
bit of sweet, a little bit of tart, a little bit more balanced. And, back in the day, I think I could have enjoyed the Peche sour a lot more. Like I get like crazy acid reflux.
Oh.
So like that would have like brought me back to earlier in the morning where I wasn't like, but yeah, that was the one thing that Earth Rider is very known for, they won awards for it, is bold flavors in their beers. So that was a prime example of a bold flavored beer.
The other one I really liked from them was a coffee ale.
Yes.
Which also had just a really nice coffee flavor to it. It wasn't super overpowering.
Right.
It blended well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And the Cedar Lounge is great. I know that they do a big concert. There's like live music on the stage, I believe, on the Friday before All Pints, but it's like you can't do everything. So sometimes you just have to like pick and choose. That's a good one to go out of town, like on your way out of town.
When you told me we were going to a place called Cedar Lounge, I thought we were just going to like a dive bar in Wisconsin.
Oh,
I didn't know it was like the brewery.
Yeah. No, yeah. I guess the name is a little bit of a misnomer, kind of like maybe deceiving, but yeah.
And I looked on the map. I'm like, you're taking me to a dive bar that's next to the brewery? Like,
yeah.
Why are we going there?
That's true, because the brewery is the production facility, and the Cedar Lounge, it's called that because it used to be a bar, and so it was like the gay bar in town. And so that's why it's so like dark, because they were just like kind of trying to keep it mysterious, keep some anonymity. And I like that it still exists in that way. But yeah, there's all sorts of different stuff. The Bree and Jen and Shannon, they all went to the Anchor Bar.
Yeah.
And that's another iconic place to go. Also a place that doesn't have air conditioning, if I remember correctly. It gets really warm in there, but there's all sorts of kitschy stuff on the walls. Their burgers are decent. It's a good place to go.
Jen had a grilled cheese with, was it caramelized onions or some kind of, that just sounded
she said
awesome.
She described that, and at that moment I'm like, I could
that's
go
what
for
I
that
want.
right now. I'm like, yeah. Beer started tasting better, and then all of a sudden food started being a good thing in my mind. So yeah, I'm not 25 anymore, Courtney. I can't function like the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed man I used to be. So that's unfortunate. But so will you go back to All Pints again?
Yes, please take me with you.
Well, that's the fun part, because once you go, it's like, yeah, you just know, pencil, kind of block off that last weekend in July to head up north and make sure
I'm 100% doing that.
You take that Friday off, because you can really get the most bang for your buck. Yeah, and then I'll tell you what, I think I messaged you. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. That drive up the hill when Duluth is in the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
It's real sad after a lot of fun. But I want to thank you for joining me to kind of recap the weekend, because this was very therapeutic and positive. So
yeah, now we'll get a couple more days of APN joy before the APN sads kick in again.
That's right. Hopefully that'll buy me some time. So it was really fun. Now, Courtney, where can people hear more of you?
Well, if you go to The Brewery Adventure on Instagram or thebreweryadventure.com, you can find everything Brewery Adventure related.
Fantastic. It's a great listen. The podcast that The Brewery Adventure really does a nice job of explaining the ambiance of the breweries, talking about the beers, and then there's a real deep dive on the bathroom situations, which that's a very unique thing. I mean, every brewery's got to have their unique thing, or else
you're going to use
every
the bathroom.
podcast needs to have their unique thing as well. So that's something that you do very well. So yeah, head on over. Make sure you subscribe to The Brewery Adventure, and then check out their YouTube, Instagram, everything.
All the things.
Courtney, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for allowing me to be here and for including me on your
always
All Pints
allowed.
North adventure, because that was so much fun.
Challenge for you. Next time I record a podcast, you should try to be hiding somewhere and then just come out and jump, and I'll hand you a microphone. You can just jump right in.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
That's great. All right. Well, this has been an All Pints North recap with my friend Courtney, and we're here at Broken Clock Brewing Cooperative. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's clink our glasses.
Oh, yeah.
A wise person once said, "Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy that it happened." Or something like that. Well, that wisdom is quite apropos for how I feel about All Pints North. The Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild does such a great job with creating a festival in a perfect venue. The Duluth craft beer community does their part to make sure that there are fantastic things to do and drink outside of the festival. One thing that makes the All Pints North weekend wonderful is the people. To be able to hang out with Courtney and see her enthusiasm for the festival as a first-time visitor was fun and inspiring. I'm looking forward to more podcast collaborations with Courtney and her show, The Brewery Adventure, in the future. Now, I want to give a special thank you to Brad Ashton, Marcus Dodson, Chuck Dorsey, Vicky Epper, Daniel Fisher, Todd Fitzloff, Laura Fleischfresser, Matt Holton, Cable Lefto, Dave Long, Ben Michaels, Brent Newman, Bree Smith, Jesse Storms, Sarah Cry-Valento, and Brian Wu for being keg stander level supporters of the A One Pint Stand Patreon. You've all shown incredible generosity, and I'm so grateful for it. Cheers to you all. Before I sign off, I want to give a big thanks to our sponsor, Lupulin Brewing Company, where top-tier ingredients meet expert craft to create seriously good beer. Find them at your favorite craft beer spots or swing by their taproom in Big Lake. You can find them online at lupulinbrewing.com and follow Lupulin Brewing on social for all the latest pours and happenings. With that, this has been another episode of A One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers. You've talked to me about some of your bike racing your mountain climbing, rock climbing.
Yeah.
As crazy as I get is like medium salsa. I'll try to. Sometimes that's okay. Safe word. Ah.